Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm on my way home from work. I'm riding. I see all this beautiful scenery that's around me, and then I saw this little pull-off. You got this right over here. Nice little field. I guess it's Indian Hill Farm. But I decided I would pull over, take a few pictures, take a little time lapse, which is what we got going on down there, and take this time to remind you guys that I have announced my meetup for 2017. We are going to be having the meetup on July 22nd, starting at 11 o'clock. Don't have an exact location yet, but that will be announced in the next, I would say, 2-3 weeks at the most. We got 3 possible places. It's either going to be in Mass, Rhode Island, or New Hampshire. If it's in New Hampshire, which is obviously the most out of the way from everybody, most likely, we will be in the Nashville area. That's a possibility. Still trying to work out those details. But yeah, it's going to be in that general vicinity. New Hampshire, Mass, Rhode Island, so not too crazy far away. But July 22nd, 11 a.m. I'll release more details once I get them. But it's going to be a lot of fun. The last 3 meetups I've had, we've had over 100 bikes at each one. Aside from this past one, which we had about 65, 70, mainly because of weather. So going to be a ton of fun. Like I said, July 22nd. Link is in the description for the Facebook event page. If you are coming, please RSVP with coming. You are going. That way I get a more accurate count. Obviously, the closer we get, the more important that is. But smack the link. I'm going to finish this time lapse. Then I'm going to get on the bike and we are going to ride home. And I'm going to record the rest of this video. Okay? All right. Enjoy. All right, now let's get the hell out of here and go home. Okay. Wow, that car smelled like a lot of marijuana. All right, I guess we're turning here. Ah, you fucking ways. You could have just told me to turn the other way, you fucking douchebag. Not like me. Sorry, lady, I was trying to merge onto a high-speed lane. So what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk to you guys about my favorite type of motorcycle. What is my favorite type of motorcycle? Now, obviously, you guys know I have 3 different bikes currently, and they are 3 different types of bikes. Now, I have the Honda Grom, which is kind of in a class of its own, aside from the Z125. I have the Honda Grom, and I have the Cowie. I have a 2005 ZX6R. Well, Ninja 636. And then obviously I have the one that I'm currently riding, a 2016 BMW S1000R. Now the Grom, like I said, not really a classification, but the 636 is a super sport, and this, although it sounds like a super sport and it does everything like a super sport, it is a, guess you would say technically call them super nakeds. Some people say hyper nakeds. I go with super naked. Obviously, if you guys know anything about motorcycles, basically what this bike is, it is the BMW S1000 RR, except it has no clip-ons, it has an actual bar, seats up a little bit higher, and the engine is the exact same engine, it's just tuned differently. So instead of 185 horsepower, it's got 160-ish, 162 horsepower. The way mine's currently set up, I probably push around 170 something. But it's tuned more for mid-range. I redline, like top redline is 13,000 RPM. The redline begins at 11. So BMW S1000 RR goes up to about, I think it's 15 and a half, 15. So it's a high revving, it's more of a high revving bike, gives you more of a typical inline 4 feel, where it's high revving, a lot of your power's up top, granted with a 1000cc engine, especially with this engine, your power's fucking everywhere. But really, on this bike, I feel like I'm riding a super sport. Aside from the seating position, it feels like I'm riding, I don't know, like the power-wise and performance-wise, it feels like you're riding something along the lines
of, well, I mean, really, like a BMW S1000 RR, like, because it's the same damn bike, same frame, same subframe, same wheels, same fucking everything, except it's just a slightly different tuned engine, and it's a little bit more comfortable. Now, when I compare how much I enjoy riding the Cowie, which obviously I haven't ridden in like a fucking year, so I might still remember what it's like. The main difference is the way you are leaned over more aggressive position, and your legs are a little bit more scrunched up because your rear sets are higher and further back. And the only main difference is just your comfort, really. Like how your body, well, like the position your body is in to be able to ride that motorcycle. That's really the only freaking difference. Because performance-wise, aside from the fact that I'm getting more at a lower RPM from the engine, it doesn't, like, it performs almost identical. Especially, I mean, it's especially noticeable on, say, this bike or a Z1000, because you're getting that inline 4 power plant, so it sounds like one. It feels like one when it's revving. It just feels like a super sport. You just happen to not get a sore back if you ride for an entire day. So when it comes to what my favorite type of bike is, it's kind of hard for me to pinpoint, mainly because, like I said, I have 3 different motorcycles, and those of you who have watched this channel for a while, you all know that I absolutely love my Honda Grom. Love that bike. It is an amazing motorcycle, one that gives you something that no other bike really does. Like I said, aside from like the Z125, which is basically a Grom with a freaking Cowie sticker on it. But that has to be like kind of pushed to the side, because a Grom really isn't your main bike. It's not. So that's your number 2. That's girlfriend number 2 over there on the side. But if you need a main bitch, if you're looking for a main bitch, what is my favorite type of bike? Super sport, super naked. I've ridden cruisers. I've ridden adventure bikes. Those are cool, but I could not see myself on an adventure bike all the time. I could not see myself riding an adventure bike full time and being like content with it. I love the feeling of a super sport. I love the sound of a super sport. I love everything about them. Even when you look at something like a Ducati Panigale, a different style power plant. It's got that L-twin engine. It sounds more like a V-twin, and it doesn't sound like your typical like super sport. It doesn't, but there's something about it, something, I don't know. But I mean, if I had to choose daily driver out of all the different style of bikes, I'm not a cruiser guy. I don't like cruisers really at all. But in my opinion, if you're somebody who likes something that'll go fast, something that will grab attention, something that will break necks, and I mean, really nowadays, something that, oh god, I thought that bird was gonna fly right into me. Something that will be reliable and fun to ride, and you're not gonna get tired of it. It's really hard to go against these super nakeds nowadays. I mean, you have the Aprilia Tuono, you got the newly redesigned Triumph Street Triple, or Speed Triple, and the Street Triple. You got both of them. You got the one just has a 675, and the other one has like a, was it 1098 or something, I don't know. And then you have something like the Super Duke. There's so many different forms of the super naked, but they do everything so similar that you have a plethora of options out there right now, and this is really becoming like the new boom in motorcycling. You have these super powerful super naked bikes that are just as fast as these super sports, and it's really kind of changed the face of motorcycles, because like I said, I've always ridden sport bikes. I love my Cowie, but as soon as I got this and was riding it, like, you're getting everything in a more comfortable package. And I mean, I've honestly never been the person that really got uncomfortable on my 636. I never got sore from riding all day, going up to the mountains and coming back. That's never really been a problem for me. I mean, I rode from Virginia Beach to New Orleans on a CBR 600 in a day and a half. It doesn't bother me. That being said, it was a noticeable difference of just how much easier it is to hop on and go. And you're not sacrificing any performance, which is what was really in my head. Like, you look at the CB1000, like Hunter Honda has. That bike will get roasted by a CBR 1000. Period. There's no denying it. My bike will get roasted by a CBR 1000 or any of the big leader bike super sports once I get to a certain mile per hour, because it has shorter gears, it has a lower top end, but I get there real quick. So it's really, if you're not worrying about going 200 miles an hour, you just like having power, a Super Naked is exactly what you need, because that's exactly what this bike is. This is a comfortable S1000RR that tops out at 165, 166. Some people want to say like 170. But when do you need to go faster than that? All I know is I can get to 0 to 60 in like 2.6 seconds. So, no. I don't know. I don't remember the fucking number, but it's real fast. I get there like 78 in first gear in this thing, and I get through first gear real quick. So it's really up to you. If you ask me, you can't go wrong with these new Super Nakeds. They just do everything that super sports do. They look fucking menacing, and the power these things are putting out nowadays compared to the old Naked bikes, it's just it's dumb. So at the end of the day, if you're asking me, the best kind of bike you can buy is exactly what I'm sitting on. Even a Z1000, those things are fucking fast, and God, do they look mean, like a fucking pissed off Ninja Turtle. But that's my thoughts on it, guys. I love me some Naked bike. That being said, I'm contemplating, once my 3-year, like, I'm on the Easy Pay system with this, so the 3 Easy Ride or whatever. It's structured like a lease, so you get lower monthly payments, and then at the end of 3 years, your term, even though I actually own it, at the end of your term, you have the option to trade it in for another model, or refinance the current balance, or just buy out. So it's structured like a lease, but it's not a lease, it's actually financing. I actually own this bike. I'm contemplating, after the next 2 years, instead of just keeping it and refinancing the balance, going with the